Welcome to the Cosmic Download for December 2016. I'm Francesca Celestino.
And I'm Simone Butler.
Well, I hope everybody survived November. What a wild ride that was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Simone and I were talking and looking forward into this month. Sorry to say, it still looks like things are pretty unsettled. Things are still feeling incomplete. I think we're still left with a lot of uncertainty at this point. You may be feeling that as it relates to this whole election outcome, whether it's a recount or whether it's just, who knows what's going to happen. This is really off the chart at this point. But it's still obviously very unstable and very uncertain, whether it's even just the uncertainty of what Trump is going to do. We don't know. So that's the key word here. And you may be feeling some uncertainty in your own life as well. We're going to talk a little bit today about how to find some stability as we go forward. I don't want to just talk about how crazy things are. So, Simone, you want to jump in and I can come back around?
Well, right now in the first week of December, we're actually in a very kind of magical grace period, I'm calling it, because Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are all aligned in a really beautiful way that shows that we can get a lot done this week, and that we can also specifically join with other people. It's a partnering energy that was just triggered by this last new moon that we just had. And it's all about finding the tribe and getting clear on where we're headed for the new year. So use this week to get together with others of like mind and to make plans, because January 1st is not going to be the best time in the world to do that. And the reason is because our friend Mercury is going retrograde in the middle of this month. And Mercury retrograde is not the time to be trying to push forward, and that lasts through the 8th of January. So it's more like reviewing the past, but it's also typically a time when there's a lot of confusion. Retrogrades are not the best time to be getting clear. So use this window we have this week to get clear, because the actual middle of the month is also a full moon, and the full moon is conjunct Saturn. And to me, that's all about demanding justice in some way, righting wrongs. And so I think there will be a tremendous amount of energy around that in terms of the impending election. And then the end of the month is the real intense period. Jupiter opposes Uranus, the planet of revolution and change, just as Uranus is turning direct after being retrograde for months. And this all happens at the new moon of December 29th, which is conjunct retrograde Mercury. So I don't even know how to begin to interpret that, except for it sounds like a revolution to me. It's not a bad thing. You know, we've been ignoring a lot of things that have been going on, and certainly in our own lives, our personal lives, things that are not working, as well as on the world stage or the national stage. And now is time to use your voice to speak out. I mean, not mindlessly on Facebook, please, but it's like we're saying goodbye to the past. We are exiting an old story, and that is necessary. This revolutionary disorder that's going on to literally dissolve the old order that's been at play for at least the last 50 years in this country. And so we're making way for an authentic new story in our lives and on the world stage.
I love that. We've been talking for months now about how this is a time for us to define as human beings who we are and how we're going to live. And I think the stage is set perfectly for that conversation. What's happening now is right in sync with where we need to be, as uncomfortable as it may be and as frightening as it may feel. The word that keeps coming to me is unhinged. And I mean that in the best way. It's like everything that's been holding the status quo everything that's been holding what's not been working and not true for who we are anymore. There's nothing holding that anymore. We have come unhinged. Things have broken loose. You know, there's that old saying, to get to breakthrough, you have to go through breakdown. And we are, I believe, in that breakdown. And hopefully at some point in the not too distant future, we're going to rise like the phoenix into, like you said, Simone, a new and authentic story, the truth of who we are as human beings. So that's going to be the process that we're in. Life moves in cycles. This will not last forever. This season will pass and we will survive it. And not only that, but I think we're going to really make some huge growth and movement during this time.
Yeah, I would agree. And I wanted to also mention that throughout 2017, Jupiter, which magnifies everything it touches, is squaring Pluto. And that began last month at the election. And Pluto is intensity and fury and change too. But Jupiter is also opposing Uranus, and that, as I said, begins at the end of this month. However, this energy of Jupiter, Pluto, Uranus continues throughout 2017. So essentially, Jupiter is reactivating the Uranus-Pluto square, which began around 2008. And so we've been in this sort of pre-revolutionary phase, and now it's all starting to really hit the fan. And I think there'll be a lot of opportunity in this, though. Many people that I know are stepping into positions of power in their lives. They're finally finding the work that they were looking for years. And I'm feeling this energy in my life, too. It's time. And those of us that are attuned to this energy and not looking at it fearfully can jump on the back of it and ride it, especially when we join with others of like mind. So I'm looking at it as a positive.
I agree. And I think another key to this is to try and be as detached as possible from outcome. You know, in the moment, something might look terrible, but in the end, it may be the best thing that ever could have happened. So really trying to stay unattached to outcome is really helpful now. And Simone, as you're saying about people coming into their power, I think the other piece for me about that is those of us who can stay centered in the midst of this, because when we're centered and present, that's when we have a chance to really make a difference in the moment. So the thing that I would suggest for this month to do is be a truth seeker. If you're feeling fear right now, fear is related to illusion. It usually happens when we're believing something that's not true about ourselves or about how life works. If you're feeling afraid, look at what you're believing and ask yourself, is this true? Then you may need to take a step back and really get some distance from what's happening to gain a better perspective until you can really see clearly.
Sounds good to me. I'm always a big advocate of journaling. I don't know how I could get along in life if I didn't journal at the end of the day. Anyone who is not currently journaling, I would highly recommend that you do so. It will help you to get things out of your head onto paper, especially around that full moon in Gemini, the sign of the writer, in the middle of the month. Right as Mercury, the planet of writing, is going retrograde. So you might even go back and review and write about some experiences from the past and get them down. Write about times in your life that were very exciting breakthrough times for you. That will help you to harness that energy again and move forward with it.
That's awesome. Simone, if people want to start looking into 2017 and the energies that are coming in for them, are you doing sessions?
I am indeed. And in fact, this is my busiest time of the year, December, January, because everybody wants to see what energies are prevailing in their personal chart. So if you'd like to do that with me, be sure to contact me as soon as possible so we can get you on the book.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. That finishes out 2016, and we wish you a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you in 2017.
Bye-bye.